against you. But with the help of a few friends, that house can be yours.
Oh, I did. I paid them more recently.
Joanna Quilty, Jane Goddard and Siobhan Inglis are proof joint ownership can work. They took out a loan 4 years ago to buy this Eastern Sydney terrace.
In a way, it's just like renting, except there's more permanency and you don't have to worry about being kicked out, and you can do things to the place. But, yeah, after you get over the initial hassle of getting the loan, it doesn't feel that different.
The trio took out a single mortgage, contributing different amounts of money. One had no deposit at all.
Fortunately, my father's a mathematician, so actually worked out what the proportions were, and we just used those percentages to work out how much we pay back to the bank each week.
Potential disaster struck just 1 year after they bought their house, when Siobhan unexpectedly moved interstate. But then another friend, Tim Leach, moved in, renting her room and ultimately buying out her share of the house.
It's a great opportunity for people like me who have a good income but not a lot of capital behind them. And I guess if they find themselves in an arrangement like I have, where you trust your housemates completely, it's a perfect opportunity, really.
Right, what have we got?
If you don't think you can trust your friends, how about a brother or sister? Chris and Susie Moriarty have put sibling rivalry behind them and joined forces to buy a house neither could afford alone.
If I was having to go in on my own, I would still be probably facing another 8 to 12 months of saving before I could afford to do that.
The pair sought advice from a financial expert and have decided to take out separate mortgages to buy a joint investment property.
Here's the place.
What's that?
Budget buyers in Aquia Avenue. This cosy, elderly, 3-bedroom workman-style timber cottage is ready for revival.
That probably means it's about to fall over. I see what they mean by ready for revival.
The toilet's over there.
It's an outdoor toilet.
Yeah.
While Susie and Chris are eager to take advantage of low interest rates, they realise it'll take time to find the right place. When buying a property with family or friends, it's a good idea to take out separate mortgages, as Susie and Chris have done. It'll cost you more in start-up fees, but in the long run, it gives you greater flexibility. It's also important to consider what might happen if one of you gets married or loses a job and can't meet the loan repayments for a couple of months. Protect yourself by drawing up a legal contract before you buy.
What about
Susie and Chris, however, believe blood's a lot thicker than any contract.
A lot of those sort of issues as to whether you get on and just aren't there.
You don't have a choice.
Yeah, see, I don't have a choice. It's just I'm stuck with it. It's going to be my sister for a long time to come.
Money, money, money.
There's a growing trend towards inner city living, and as a result, suburbs that are close to the central business districts of most of our major cities have experienced strong growth. Because of this, the Sydney suburbs that got the vote last year get the thumbs up again this year. The boom suburbs continue to be the areas of Ashfield and Summer Hill. Compared with other inner city suburbs, homes are generally on bigger blocks and many have detached houses with good potential for renovators and investors. The bargain suburb is Campbelltown, about 40 kilometres southwest of the city. There's a good infrastructure of schools, shops and hospitals. Highways and public transport link it to the major business areas. Witangra and Hawker are predicted to be the boom suburbs in Canberra. They're 10 kilometres west of the city and are expected to pull out of the ACT's general property slump before other areas. The bargains are around Weston, 10 kilometres to the southwest. Developed in the late 60s, it's close to shops and services with houses starting at $90,000. In Hobart, the boom prediction is for Newtown, just a few kilometres to the north of the city. It's close to all services and facilities, with houses ranging up to $135,000. The bargain suburbs are Rokeby and Clarendon Vale on the eastern shore, just over 10 kilometres from the city centre. These are former Housing Commission areas, with houses starting at $45,000. In Melbourne, the booming areas are Glen Iris and Ashburton. Homes here are much cheaper than other inner eastern suburbs and there's good freeway access to the city. The bargains are in the western suburbs of Kensington and Flemington, about 10 kilometres from the CBD. Older style homes are ideal for renovating, with prices starting at $100,000. With interest rates so low these days, there's probably never been a better opportunity to get into the housing market. But before you jump in though, make sure you're fully aware of the growth potential of your property. Because as we've seen, if you buy in the right area, you can get much better value for money.
Next, your last chance to win in our Rothschilds giveaway and musical discoveries from Sotheby's.
Television's great sentimental journey.
This rock and rollers don't quite make it.
Paying tribute to the idols of our time.
Congratulations, you.
Hadn't been for you coming along that day, I wouldn't be here.
Will be next on This Is Your Life Thursday.
In blind tests, 8 out of 10 people tell us that Kleenex is the softest tissue, softer than any other tissue. Kleenex, soft, softer, softest.
Remember the days when you had the wind in your hair and it didn't cost you a cent? Well, those days are back, because you can still get a Pulsar LX sedan or hatch with free air for only $19,990. That's right, only $19,990 with free air. So run down to your nearest Nissan dealer now.
Is this an unbeatable home loan deal? Priority One offers a variable rate of 6.47% per annum and no monthly account fees. Call 13 30 30 for a home loan from Priority One, an AMP company.
The downhill racer, the surfer, the pro golfer, the rock star, the computer wizard, the unrequited love.
What in the world are you doing with all this stuff when there's cash converters?
Forget the sentimental value. What about the instant cash value? Cash converters are desperately understocked and will pay you top price for all the things you no longer want or need. It's why Cash Converters is now the largest second-hand goods chain on Earth. What in the world are you waiting for?
Did you have something unusual around here?
When the unexplained comes down to earth, the men in black get down to business.
That go on all right?
They're protecting the earth from the scum of the universe.
That guy's definitely an alien.
You don't like it? You can kiss my furry little butt.
Tommy Lee Jones, Will Smith, Men in Black. MIB the album featuring Will Smith.
From our huge range of Dorf bathroom wear, we bring you these special prices. The Majestic Lever Basin Set, $189. $125 is all you'll pay for the Jupiter Kitchen Mixer. Be quick for the Jupiter Flick Mixer, it's yours for $139. Don't pass the quality of the Dorf Classic Bath Set, our price $949. When you want Dorf, come to Harvey Norman, your bathroom wear specialist.
Who's responsible for a family tragedy? The wife, the daughter, the living worker, or the mystery blonde who watched him die? Murder Gore is next on WIN.
Money!
These are early examples of things we take for granted.
Too bad. How come you have to wind it?
This was made in France in the 1890s and is the forerunner of a digital clock. If you wanted a dictaphone in the old days, you'd have to carry all this round with you. And as for calculators, there was a 1930s Bakelite model, complete with the original case and instruction manual, now valued at $1,200.
So if you want to add two numbers together, you put the first number in, which comes down there. Wind the handle.
Here's a later version, although it sounds like you'd need a degree to operate it.
Number in, which comes down there. Wind the handle around, that'll bring the number up into this column up there. Clear the bottom field, you add the second number on, and you wind it on again. 30 in, you wind it around again, and gives you the value at the top there.
Operating this is much easier, once you put it together. It's the old-time equivalent of a Walkman, a portable wind-up record player.
Well, we used to take it across the river swimming. We'd hold her up like this, you know, sort of paddle across the river, and then we'd put it on a log and someone else would carry a few records across.
The gramophone was made in Switzerland and has a $300 price tag. This was also Swiss-made. It's worth $600. And it was certainly sweet music to the ears of one Darwin youngster.
And that's about it for Money for tonight. If you'd like any more information, you can give us a call on 8855 602 88. That number again, 8855 602 88. Or, of course, you can write to us at Money, Post Office Box 107, Willoughby, New South Wales 2068. But don't forget to include a self-addressed, stamped, business-sized envelope with the names of the stories that you're after clearly written on the back. Before we say goodbye to Singapore, here's your last chance to be one of our 20 lucky viewers who will each win a Rothschild $10,000 managed investment portfolio. To be in the running, you've got to correctly fill in the contest coupon from Women's Day. The question is, what is the minimum monthly amount you need to contribute for a Rothschild regular investment plan? Now, it's worth paying attention, because with the right answer, you could be choosing from one of Rothschild's many managed funds, each with a regular investment plan, where your minimum monthly contribution is just $200. You'll have to be quick with your entry. Your coupon has to reach us by the last mail this Friday so you can go into the draw. And remember to be watching Money next Wednesday at 8 o'clock when we'll announce the 20 lucky winners. Also next week, the best place in Australia to live. Where do you stack up when we put the country under the financial microscope? That's next Wednesday night at 8 o'clock when you could be one of the lucky $10,000 winners. Until then, good night.
International air travel on Money, provided by Qantas, the Australian airline. This program proudly brought to you by GIO.